It's Open House Thursday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. YK in the building.
Yo. Good morning.
Good to
Good morning. It's good to be here. I'm traveling, so let me quickly tell you now.
Hey, YK. You're not thinking about traveling. You're not always traveling.
You know, my granddaughter is going to be 4. And I've never been with her for her for any birthday, so I want to try and make it this year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, when you want to travel, you find every excuse. It's not 5, oh.
It's
It's not 1. It's 4.
It's
It's 4.
I've never been with her on any of them. I celebrated his first birthday with him. I celebrated his second, third, fourth.
Okay, so there's now unfair to...
So it's like, it's unfair. It's like as if I favor
one person.
She's 4 years old. She's not gonna
But she wants
Wait
his...
till you're a grandmother.
Then you will give her the excuse.
Because my daughter and I are already fighting. She says when I come, I will spoil them. I will let them play game on my iPad. I said, "Come
This is my...
Let me come to talk because I love to say it.
Yes,
How you doing?
I'm very good. So we have a training tomorrow in my office. We use it to... it's a training for realtors. Those are people that want to make money selling other people's real estate and a way to empower themselves financially. The trainings are usually free. It's every month, and people can still register for this, the one tomorrow. It's a physical training in Lagos mainland. Let me just put Magodo. And if you are interested, when people reach out to me for training, I don't remember to mention it on the show. We do this every month, and it's free for marketing. This tomorrow we're talking about goal setting, so you can register. It's free and attend.
So we have my big sis in the building. So for today.
Wearing green hair.
In the building.
Please say the name again. I didn't hear.
Amina Bajabia Mila.
Have you on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. First of all, I'm so excited and I'm just so happy that everyone is present. But where's Aisha? Where's she?
No,
Where's
she's
Nima?
not here today. She's not
Here tomorrow.
A schedule. So she's not.
Okay.
scheduled.
So I'm pleased to meet everyone. I came in doing we've been doing this together, but I'm just excited to
Are you
meet
related to Femi Gbajabi and Amila?
He's my brother-in-law.
He's your brother-in-law. Okay.
Good to see you. Mariam
Nice to know.
We can, you don't, Jesus. Nigerians are both.
Yeah.
Straight to the point.
How you doing, Mariam?
I'm fine. Yesterday I went for the launch of an outfit for educational psychologists. So it's called Neurobites.
Sounds serious.
Yes, it is serious. So you know how schools help to take care of your cognitive abilities. I'm using this because I learned it yesterday.
Yeah.
Awesome.
This talks about, this deals with our children, their mental part, the emotional part. And sometimes, this can affect them, every part of them. So to make them wholesome, if you're having, not issues particularly, but, you're trying to understand your child better, if there may be some emotional, mental things that need to be done, you have a place to go. I had the opportunity of taking my son to her last year, and she did a good job with us. Fantastic. So now there's a place that people can go, and so congratulations to Dr. Olajobi and Mrs. Eniola Olajobi. Well done and well done. Yeah.
I have to greet 2 people today. 2 good friends that got promoted from the police force. Congratulations. This is my big sis, Dolakwa Badmus. She used to be CSP. Now she's Assistant Commissioner of Police. Congratulations to her. She's a friend of the house. She used to be here until some forces tried to, thank God. She's been promoted.
Congratulations to ACP.
She's now ACP, Assistant Commissioner of Police.
Wow.
CSP.
It's good to see the growth.
And also, another person that he's now Commissioner for Police. He used to be DCP, former Force PRO, Jimo Moshood. Congratulations to you. He also got promoted. I mean, it was a whole long list, but those are the 2 people that I know.
Okay.
Congratulations to 2 of you.
Was Egbeyemi there?
Egbeyemi is there, Ogana.
No, was his name there? No, Egbeyemi is not. Egbeyemi is the head of rapid response.
Oh no, I think the only 2 names I recognize are the Badmus.
I need to look out for.
Please look out for him.
I didn't know you guys had
police people.
Police connections.
The police is our friend.
And we need that.
Our friend.
We need
Meanwhile, please, my cousin is 60 today. Wow. And some Kuti. Happy birthday, Bisoye.
Happy birthday.
Yeah,
she's 60
and I met your
today.
auntie as
Happy
well.
birthday.
Which one?
Miss Yemisi.
Okay.
Alrighty, let's go on
She's the
a
head of the
short
family.
break. It's Thursday, it's our gisting day. We talk about life, family, but first, Look at the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with the nation. CBN battling to restore Naira to its real value, says Cardoso. How to make North secure by leaders. Court rejects suit seeking to stop 16 Plateau APC lawmakers' inauguration. Aiyedatiwa picks deputy governor, sacks EXCO. Government House Chapel Row, Obaseki Islam Sheibu. No plan to move federal capital back to Lagos, says presidency. And Afenifere scraps Adebanjo's acting leader position. 4 billion Naira fraud charge, court bars Obiano from traveling out of Abuja. Which story are we starting with? What's major headline or local?
Yes, so
I have
major headline. The CBN is battling to restore the value of Naira. This came from the CBN governor, Olayemi Cardoso, yesterday. He was speaking at the, he was unveiling, he spoke at the unveiling of the Nigerian Economic Summit Group and the macro outlook report in Lagos yesterday. And the conversation was tied to the fact that the Naira is being undervalued. According to him, based on reports, the reasons for this might have been based on the bold moves that the president did coming into power by unifying the Naira rates as well as taking off the deregulating PMS, that's petrol, and that those things led to a huge shakeup in the currency, and that's what they're trying to do. So there's a current move to establish and stabilize the Naira, and this would influence a lot of things. It will affect reduction of the fuel cost, and it will also contribute to economic growth, and it will boost our resilience. So there's a detailed breakdown on what the CBN plans to do.
I also want to read that because I need to understand it. I would like to read that also.
There's a detailed breakdown on what he wants to do, but what I'm explaining is the far-reaching effect and the fact that there's a consciousness of what led to the breakdown of the Naira value and the consciousness of the fact that Naira is not 1,300 to $1. It's not 1,000 to $1. It is all of the factors that are contributing, and they have identified the factors. I, as someone that follows the economy, know they've identified it, and we're hoping that with the efforts to stabilize it, if nobody sabotages them, they'll be able to bring the value of the Naira up against, yes, to the rights.
Fantastic. So,
Federal
go ahead.
Plateau,
Yeah.
this is
Go on.
okay. Plateau Assembly. So the Federal High Court Judge Division yesterday refused to grant a request by PDP in Plateau State to stop the inauguration of 16 APC candidates as House of Assembly. So let me just see if I can give a quick background. So we remember the governor, they had gone to the Supreme Court, and they had been, and his seat was, he was returned as governor. Not that he was taken out, but his seat was verified that he is still the governor. That means APC and PDP had gone to court. Now, before he did, the court had sacked the legislators from PDP from that state, and it was based on the fact that they said that the PDP didn't even have a political structure, a proper party structure for them to have even run in the first place. So, but when the Supreme Court allowed that, verified that the governor's seat was still valid, the PDP are now saying, well, if that works for him, then he should work for those who were previously sacked. Now, those ones, when they were sacked, APC members of the House, automatically they got certificate of return, and, they were supposed to assume their seats. Now, to resume and to be inaugurated, PDP saying, no, you can't come back because we've just seen that the court has allowed the governor on the same case as ours to come back, so you cannot be inaugurated. So we now have 32 people for the same number of 16 seats. The problem is who really takes the seats. PDP has gone to court and saying, stop them from being inaugurated, and the speaker is saying, well, I've been given, the court says that they can be inaugurated. So that's where they are. So they're at an impasse right now, stalemate. We'll see where this.
You have the same story, right?
No. My own story is Obaseki has accused Shaibu of mischief. I think the government has closed the chapel for renovation, and he says that Shaibu, basically through his SSA, has said that Shaibu is stirring up public sentiment, political, because he knows that Nigerians, we don't play with religion, and so he has used it to stir up the Edo people. There are videos that have been circulating online of him having mass outside while they are now taking videos that the chapel is closed. So please asking him to stop this mischief. So, our dear brother, the deputy governor, held an outdoor mass with some Catholic faithfuls, clearly showing that he is the mastermind behind the person circulating the video and the accompanying false commentary.
Wow.
As his actions seek to curiously authenticate their false claims.
Why are you reading that voice?
I just like to
So let me take
dramatize
the story, but let me
it.
let you take your story.
No plan to move federal capital back to Lagos's presidency. So President Bola Tinubu is assuring Nigerians that the federal capital territory is not moving to Lagos. And people who are starting these rumors, which I think had come up prior to the elections, are just mischievous, and we really need to just cease and desist. Of course, you know, the FAAN moving to Lagos makes sense, right? The international airport is here. We want that office to be close to the industry that it regulates. Also, parts of the CBN that are being moved to Lagos are really the ones supervising commercial banks, of which most headquarters are in Lagos anyway. So the president is assuring us the government is not moving to Lagos, regardless of what people might be cooking up.
There's also an
Actually
international
listens to
airport in
Ndume.
Abuja anyways. But
I actually listened to Ndume, and I was, because he's someone that I respect, and he's always challenging me. I thought that this was really out of place because it can stir up fights between the north and the south. Already there is so much
Going on.
polarization in Nigeria. Now you are now coming to start saying because they are moving, that why don't you move it to Nasarawa? Come on.
Like
There was a
But-
reason,
but-
and
how- yeah,
it's
how
not
would
a
that
hot
even
topic.
be?
I have my opinions, but
I wish it was about hot topic, because I would like to hear your opinion.
you can hear it after the
All right,
show.
so we have to just take one more story before we go on a break. So Afenifere has said that they are scrapping the office of acting leader. Adibanja was last year named acting leader of Afenifere by Pa Ruben Fashanroti. So if you recall all the issues that happened, especially in the elections, where there was someone like a faction under Afenifere, some were supporting a different candidate, while Afenifere agreed to support a certain candidate. Anyway, so just to hopefully remove this issue from happening again. So they have removed the office, that office that gave him the authority to go and follow somebody else. They have said that they are scrapping, that there's nothing like acting leader, office of the acting leader anymore. That's the story in a nutshell. Let me see how much time we have. Let's move on now quickly to the punch.
Wow.
Forex scandal. EFCC probes $347 billion funds, summons foreign firms. $4 billion theft. EFCC lines up 15 witnesses against Obiano. 10 Ibadan explosion victims still missing. Afenifere demands state police scraps Adibanjo's leadership style. Ondo Assembly screens new deputy governor as Aiyedatiwa sacks cabinet. CBN fan relocation. Presidency orders tackle Ndume. PDP-LP asks questions on Tinubu's France private visit. Okay, which story? It's like one story before we're going to break. Oh, we don't even have time. We're going to go on a short break. When we come back, we continue with the review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. What's the story?
I have
Okay,
Obiano.
Mara.
So EFCC says it will be calling 15 witnesses to prove the 4 billion theft charges it filed against the former governor of Anambra State, Willie Obiano. So he, of course, before the court, he pleaded not guilty. I'll just read some of the charges that were brought before him. We have that EFCC alleges that Obiano diverted Anambra security votes in the tune of over 4 billion while he was governor between 2014 and 2022, accusing him of indirectly transferring through his private principal secretary 1.2 billion from from the state security vote account to another account belonging to Moment of Peace Venture, an entity with no business with the estate, and also accuse him of indirectly transferring the sum of 860 million plus from the state security vote account through his principal private secretary, Willie Mwokoye, to Wudu Ventures, an entity with no business to the government, and so on and so forth. So that's what.
So when someone like this changes for billionaire to dollars,
there is scarcity
there
immediately.
will be scarcity.
Yeah.
When there's
Immediately.
scarcity, Naira goes up and they'll be shouting,
Yeah.
oh, it's like 1,300 Naira.
And
This
the
is
economy
problem.
is bad. It's not the economy.
Instantly.
It's the people.
Obiano,
It's not the
however,
people.
pleaded
Obiano
not
is government, yo.
guilty.
He's a Nigerian now.
He is government.
He's a Nigerian.
Eh, but he's a government
He's
official.
a Nigerian.
Let's see how
Because
the
he was a
court
Nigerian
handles
before he became government.
We're
Excuse
commenting.
me.
We don't have
You're
time.
commenting.
Fine.
Who is the government? Is it not the
Okay,
people?
government
It's
is
the
not,
people.
is not a person.
It's
Human
not the
beings.
people.
It's not, yes, no, I'm saying, we're saying the same thing.
We are not
So
saying the same thing.
Nigerians-
oh.
So you and I,
We are not saying
Nigerians,
the same thing.
enter
oh.
government and we do exactly
They
the
say
same
we
thing.
shouldn't comment, but we are not saying the
let's
same
move on.
thing.
Find on that story. Nigerians, we the people.
The man said not guilty.
Okay,
Innocent
not
until
guilty. So it's
proven
an
guilty.
allegation.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
10 Ibadan explosion victims still missing. This is quite concerning. So the Bodija Estates Residents Association in Ibadan Wednesday said that about 10 people were still missing following the January 17 explosion. The Punch reports that 5 people died, 77 sustained varying degrees of injuries, and 58 houses were damaged during the explosion that rocked Deji Oyelisa Street in Ibadan, Oyo State. So Governor Seyi Makinde, who's already presented the preliminary report to the president, is now saying we still think there are 8 and 9, possibly 10 bodies missing. And the residents of the Bodija Association are saying if you don't see these people, you didn't see them yesterday, we haven't
saw
seen
them
them the day
yesterday.
before, you know, they're
Yeah, you know,
missing. We need to find these people. So there's the outcry
Yeah.
for that. And members of the Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party on Wednesday visited Governor Makinde to commiserate with him and the people of the state over the explosion. Our hearts and souls just really continue to stay
Yeah.
with the families
Yeah.
of, you know, the deceased and with injured
Okay.
people from the explosion.
Yeah, so we're still updating more updates on the EFCC probing the Forex scandal. This is to the tune of 347 billion that was given, some of them were given to foreign firms. So the review actually extends beyond the past administration. This is from January 2014 to June 2023. And the findings said that they had to expand the net, not just some local companies, some foreign companies. If we recollect, there was the investigation that unveiled how Dangote group got a special rates from the past CBN governor, and EFCC probed that, and they're still probing several other companies that were getting education, engineering, food got a lot of money. These are dollars allocated to the companies at the official rate when they, like at different rates. You know, we had multiple rates. That's what they're investigating. My hope is that while we don't want media trial, we want a tight investigation. We need some scapegoats for the economical challenges that Nigerians are facing, and we need it soon.
Absolutely.
Okay, Daily Sun, more horror in Plateau State as government invade Mango again, kill 30 despite curfew in place. IPOB replies Buhari over Kanu. No plan to relocate federal capital to Lagos's presidency. Kidnapping, Wike sanctions establishment of vigilante groups in FCT. Abga crisis, Njoku accuses INEC chair of contempt of court. Politicians have unleashed bandits on Tinubu's government, says Niger APC chieftain. Naira undervalued, says CBN governor, vows to crash inflation to 21%. And 7.2 million children accessing education in Nigeria's IDP camp, says UNICEF. Okay, so
Plateau State. We're here again. So here is the Mogovol Development Association. They've expressed sadness over the killing of 30 people in the village in Mango local government area, alongside destruction of houses and properties, including food items that were burned down completely. And in this report, it says by suspected Fulani machineries. They said the attack happened barely 24 hours after the governor had imposed a dusk to dawn curfew in Mango area of the state. They're saying this is unfortunate that this has happened because that there was security alert that was received Monday, 22nd of January, and even though, you know, the security forces were aware of an impending attack, it still happened. This carnage went on unhindered. There's also the calling out of the security personnel, especially the military, that had been stationed in the area, and you know, they're wondering how these attacks were able to be were carried out even with these soldiers there. And so they're asking that they be taken away from there and the military police be put there instead.
You know, I read the story in Tribune, and the one young guy who wanted to be unidentified said the youth had told the women and children to go to the community leaders' residence because they had heard that the attack was going to come. That it is that residence, Gogo, that they went and made sure that they burnt it with all those people inside, women and children.
So there must be a mole within there.
Yeah, it was in, and you know, there were so many other things that, and then I heard the governor, you know, the governor gave, he said this is not farmer hiders, that we should stop saying it's farmer hiders, it's not farmer hiders, that this is genocide.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
He said it. He said this is genocide. Another senator said that it is the mineral resources that they are doing away with the just people, not just plateau state people, so that they can have access. That senator, he broke it down. He said, tin, you see tin everywhere. That is what they want. Well, anyway,
you want to say go to judge them?
No, the thing is really, it's very painful for me.
It's
It's very painful.
upsetting.
These people are losing their lives
It's
because of the
upsetting.
mineral resources. It's not fair now.
It's upsetting.
And
Oh, we're not watching a movie.
The Commissioner for Information Culture, the former Commissioner for Information Culture, that's Jonathan Vass, raised the alarm that the escalation of bandits' activities in the nation's capital, Abuja, was specifically because they're trying to make the government unpopular before the 2027 elections. He specifically said that he was an APC publicity secretary. He said that this is the same strategy that was unleashed against Jonathan back in 2015 towards the general elections, where the bombs were being released all over the country, including Abuja, that made them lose the elections at the time. He said immediately after the general elections, things subsided, and that same strategy is being
This is far
employed now.
from the election.
Employed now. Said that it's the same strategy that those behind the current rise in banditry and activities in Abuja have adopted to make the current government unpopular.
So, current minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, has directed the 6 area council chairmen of the nation's capital city to set up vigilante groups and also ensure immediate profiling of members of those groups. He was speaking during a security meeting with members of the FCT Council of Chiefs and the council chairman, and the minister said the administration would continue to work with traditional rulers, but that for now they are sanctioning establishment of vigilante groups. They are already, from the callers that called on the show yesterday, they are already vigilante groups that are become the succor for some locals within. I think it's important we also integrate them so that this doesn't become a funnel for corruption and funds into empowering people. Let's put people that understand security in the vigilante groups and ensure that we're able to curb kidnapping within.
Okay, I think
Abuja.
most of the headlines in Play 2, I think we've taken them. Play 2, gunmen defy curfew. Deliver 30. Relief coming with more forex, reduced inflation, says CBN governor. No plan to move federal capital to Lagos, says presidency. Aida Tiwa picks deputy sacks cabinet. Roads, FG meets Elumelu Dangote others on PPP. And FG's revenue trapped in commercial banks, says Ramfak. Okay, let's move on quickly now to the Nigerian Tribune. Find a story we've not taken at all. We have a story there, Vanguard.
No.
Okay.
In Tribune, I do.
Tribune, let's see. Gunmen defy curfew, kill 25 in Plateau local government. Aftermath of Supreme Court judgment, fears mount over Lagos waterways assets. Only 43% of 6,000 schools in Nigeria meet minimum safety standards, says UNICEF. Ibadan explosion, number of fatalities still unknown, persons still unaccounted for, says Residents Association. FG will review concession agreement for 43.2 billion naira Ibadan dry port and others. And naira currently undervalued, says CBN. Makinde Adeleke, other PDP Southwest stakeholders meet in Ibadan today. Okay.
So the aftermath of Supreme Court judgment that is raising fears over Lagos waterways assets I'm particularly concerned about this. I'm totally a water baby, and I can't just imagine us having any problems in that area. But really, what's happening is that following the decision of the nation's apex court, the Supreme Court, to bar Lagos State from regulating inland waterways, activities in the state, both operators have all raised concerns over the continuous management of some multi-billion naira assets that were already installed and commissioned by the Lagos State government. So pretty much what's happening now is the fear and concern for assets, particularly at LASWA, the Lagos State Waterways Authority in Falomo, where now, these boats and other, waterway assets are kind of just beginning to sit fallow if something isn't done, and they mustn't rot away. Like, we need to manage this. So if the federal government wants to step in to regulate what needs to happen, they need to be stepping in yesterday. If it's going to be left to Lagos State to manage it as they've been managing it, we need to, just commit to the way forward and not let those assets rot away.
I feel
That
so
would be a
bad.
shame.
We've had cases where, because a case is in court, we would have a full ship wreck on our waterways. And now Lagos State has invested so much money in this, on the waterways to provide security, and even they were listing the things that they have as assets and asking if the judgment is going to say that we don't have access to it, somebody must take responsibility for those things. Or you give the assets back to Lagos State or something.
Okay, any other story in Tribune?
Yes, I have a story. Just 6,000, 43%, only 43% of schools in Nigeria meet minimum safety standard from UNICEF. The UNICEF said that based on their evaluation, the indications are that majority of Nigerian schools don't meet minimum safety standard. The breakdown of what they feel is they said that these things would affect, they are open to violence, they are open to natural hazards, they are open to conflicts, that the infrastructure is not, they are weak infrastructure on ground. The UNICEF country manager, Mrs. Christine Mundete, said, Nigeria has shown commitment to increase education, but there's still a lot more to be done. And if they are quoting for 3%, then it means there's a whole lot more to be done. They said it during the International Day for Education, and basically that's it.
Okay, that's all we can take on Front Page Review this morning. Let's go on a short break. When we come back, once our hot topic of today, stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. As many of you know, on Thursdays, we discuss family, life, relationships, and all sorts. And so today, we found a story online that caught our attention, Women somewhat together, coming trauma bonding, I would say. They came together talking about cheating husbands, and they were talking about their husbands online, how somehow their husbands were served breakfast by the side chicks. So according to one of the ladies, said this girl later broke my husband's heart. He just posted me and the kids on WhatsApp and Snapchat. Another one said he puts love my family forever. Another one said husband has been begging me that I should forgive him, that he was going to be extra nice from now on. All sorts of comments on online, but the real conversation is not so much why do men cheat, but the truth is that women choose to stay in the relationships where they know their husbands are unfaithful, but they choose to stay there. And before we even go that deep, let's even start with these comments. What are your thoughts on the comments on social media first, before we go into the fact that women have chosen to stay and hoping that one day somebody will serve him breakfast and he'll come back? Is that how we are right now? But first, what are your thoughts on the comments? Want to start?
Okay, I can start.
When I was reading these comments, I just thought, is this really what it has become? And I think my first thing is, where's the self-love? Where's just your love for yourself, which is not a selfish thing. It's just a thing of, I value myself, my wellness, and my health. Because the kind of conversations they're having shows already that these women are traumatized. So your health and well-being is already being compromised. And now what we're doing is we're trading these different comments and laughing about them. And some of the comments are really, really
Let me let Mariam jump in here for a second. Go ahead, Mariam.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's one way to look at it. But I have friends who are Muslims and are married to men that have multiple wives. And some of these things are things that they come across. So it's not the man is cheating, but they know that the man would marry other wives and it would require them to date other wives. And I've actually heard a few of them say, like, when they get served outside, some of the conversations that they have amongst themselves, look at him, he's acting all nice all of a sudden. You have served him, the one outside, you know, the one that would have come has served him something.
You thought sorry to cut you, Mariam. I just remembered something. Interestingly, that is the multiple wives.
Yeah.
My mother was the first wife.
Yeah.
My father has 2 wives at least. Until later we found out he has one more. So when I was growing up, my dad goes to my stepmother's house from Friday till Sunday, like from Thursday to Friday. You know, daddy's gone. He doesn't come back until like evening Sunday. If you see Daddy maybe afternoon Sunday, there was a fight in the Sunday. There was a fight. And my mother gets upset because she has planned with her friends. They're partying. They don't, you know, she comes home maybe 7 p.m. You know, doesn't worry because she knows that Daddy's out. But then she'll come home and he's already in the house. She'll wonder, what happened?
They eat our forehead.
Yeah. So that's what
So they have conversations. Your husband is at home today. Did you not go golfing?
So what I like about your perspective is that it's specifically addressed Muslim families, right? Where you sort of know that that comes with the territory and that can happen. So that's technically kind of not cheating versus these kind of comments where it was, he's gone, he's been cold, but now suddenly he's posted my DP, he's posted the children's DP.
Yes.
Now he's saying love quotes, you know.
I'll go deeper in a second, but I want to hear
my favorite, the one that touched me the most, is the one that said, now so my husband, they drop quotes on WhatsApp this morning. You know, you will see some people's WhatsApp quotes, status quotes, you'll be like, this person is coming from something or is going through something. Because when you start saying, only God loves you, or you see those comments of, the only love of your life is your true wife, your wife of your youth, those kind of things, you will know that somebody is going through, they've collected breakfast. Then somebody else says, now so he changed my name from my wife to the only peace of mind in my life. I say, this person has definitely chopped breakfast. So you don't come back home to appreciate what you were thinking. This one is 20, she's lacking 20%. It is when you have chopped the breakfast, you realize that 20% is what I need for my peace of mind. So those were the hilarious comments, the ones that really got to me.
You know, I wonder what is in the mind of the women, you know, because he hasn't been paying you any attention.
And then suddenly,
you have suddenly become the love of his life.
Should it be comical or should it be anger? That's my own confusion. Should I be upset or should I be laughing about it?
Or at least concerned, even if it's not anger.
Yeah,
if you have resigned yourself, please.
No, I was just thinking, you know, in me, I would not take it lightly.
Okay.
I would be like, where you are going? Where you are coming from? I mean, I'm not going to leave you. I've said that one already. So that place you are going, that
they are giving you breakfast.
Go back there. Stop loving me. Stop loving me.
Don't give me your fake love
right now.
Yes.
Go and
You know that's the thing. The natural response is the anger. You know, it's natural to feel that anger at the moment. But you know, they tell us that if you know this is your last bus stop, then what's the anger going to do for you? Quickly just welcome him back into your bosom and move on. That's the template here.
When you welcome him back like that, tomorrow he will meet another one that will turn his head. He will go again. He will forget to be sending you all those messages.
So for me, I think
putting you on his DP.
I think human beings were capable of many types of emotions, different types of emotions at different times. There's this particular woman may have, may have had a conversation where she's crying and angry, and then she just happened to be on social media and she's found someone that, I'm not alone.
On a funny note.
Yeah, on a funny note. People always say that Nigerians, we have a way of turning really traumatic events and making it funny. Sure. Look at the Ibadan bomb blast that happened. There was a video of a man who was covered in the dust and his life, he didn't die. and his friends were yabbing him left, right, and center. And you know, everyone was like, yes, we get it. This is what men, especially men, they're like, this is what they do. This is how they handle some traumatic events. So for me, I'm happy that they're not dwelling in anger and sadness, that they even have a place that they can come and laugh about it. You know, this also does not mean that there's no self-love. It also doesn't mean that they may not be working on it or making decisions on whether to continue in this marriage or not. But just recognizing right now on social media, we can laugh about this thing that's happening to us.
That is what's happening.
Let me come to you, I mean your thoughts, because I was seeing a comment saying something that the man came back and started doing dishes. You know, stuff that she's been trying to get him to listen. I need you to participate in the house, do stuff. He came home and they're wondering, what are you doing in the kitchen? So as a woman in that kind of situation, should that be an opportunity for you to be thankful or address an issue? Because sometimes we see it as, I mean, right now, we can just laugh about it and say, oh, I'm thank God this is back in the house. But many of us, the problem still comes back.
Exactly.
Keep recycling the issue. But shouldn't that be an opportunity, now that they've said you breakfast, that is an opportunity for us to redesign this marriage and understand how we're doing. Why don't they see that opportunity and rather just be thankful that they're back?
And I think for me that's big, which is really where I was coming from with the self-love, because some of the comments are really hysterical and quite self-deprecating. Like one said, wait, so mine post me on Sunday, wifey for life. The thing shocked me, because this January, I never appear for that guy's status. It'd be like them chenkam, you know? So obviously she would like to be on his status. It's something she desires that she doesn't get. And now she's got it, she feels good. And I mean, let's be honest, right? No matter how much our partners are upsetting us, what we want ultimately is the happiness of the union.
Yeah.
So I get it where you laugh over it. But you know, like Mariah said, this is the opportunity, especially the one that was doing dishes. Well, thank you that you've come home and you're helping in that regard. But you know, can we maybe now have a conversation about it? Can we just not pretend like it's not somewhere that you went that they served you hot breakfast that has brought you back home now to come and appreciate me, so that it doesn't become a pattern. Now, YK, you said something that I heard and I was like, okay, let's listen to our elders. If I've made up my mind that this is where I'm going to be, this is my last bus stop, then me and him, hopefully we have an agreement where you come, you go. I think women are not as upset about cheating as they are upset about the deceit.
That's why I say,
It's the
tell
deceit.
For me, I always say, whatever you want to do, just tell me, so that I know. It's that deceit. It's that the fact that a girl can come and meet me and say, I'm your husband's
But there's no
babe.
cheating
Or
without
look at me up
deceit.
and down.
Once you know, there is no cheating and it's not fun anymore.
The sneaking around is the real sweetness.
Because if I'm the woman and my husband comes in and is now washing plates that he hasn't been washing since, I will say, as you are washing that plate, continue to the work. When you make another one, you will still wash this plate. That's how we address it.
Yeah.
I'm not communicating. There's no communication. There's no, darling, let's be talking.
Exactly.
I will tell him, that plate, when you start again with another one, you must continue to be washing that plate too. Or that's where we will fight.
Yeah.
I think we're pretty much done with this conversation.
Yes,
but let me
largely. Another thing I'll say, of course, is important. Self-love is key. Another thing is, we are all different. Some people don't mind. I love this man. He's going through whatever he's going through, and he has come home. I'm going to welcome him. But at the point where you start, the trauma of what he's doing is traumatizing you. It's a time where you need to start checking yourself and having a conversation with him. Many men don't understand the impact of their activities on women. It doesn't. You just wake up, and I had to tell my husband, I say, you can just wake up and say, I'm going to Abuja tomorrow. And there's no problem. You don't even think about it. If I want to go to Abuja tomorrow, I need to plan.
Up to you.
I need to plan about the children. I need to ensure that my mom is around, call my mom, be sure the driver, settle his food at home. I said, so, but you can just stand up. He doesn't understand it, because for him, that's always been his life. He just moves and they go. And then I had to break down the impact of your decisions on the far-reaching family.
Yes.
Because when you tell your husband the impact of his movements and how it makes you feel, like I'm doing everything and you go out and don't come back home for 3 days, if you find something, let the man know that when you do that, it makes you feel like, am I cooking well? Am I cooking well? Am I doing it right in bed? Like, break down that emotion you are feeling within yourself. Express it to the man. Because when you don't, you are all within yourself, feeling all that emotion, not communicating the emotion, and you are thinking, you're assuming he knows what you're going through. Most time, they don't know. They have no idea.
Let me take this call 1 second.
It doesn't work, then you know, if you move on now.
Yes.
I mean, I'm all for moving
I want
on.
to read some comments as well.
Ahmed, thanks for calling. You're live. Ahmed? Hello? I think we lost that call. Go ahead, Mariam.
Yes, so I was going to say that usually when people get to this point where they're making a jest out of what is happening to them, they've moved on from that conversation of, let's see how it works. That means they've had this conversation over and over again, and they've come to a point where they've accepted it, and this is what works for us. And now we know how it happened. You know, when he's in a good mood, when he's paying attention, then we know that he's been served breakfast. And some people even understand the pattern. They will just give him another 3 months. He'll be back out there. And so this person has determined. So that's why sometimes people say, I don't know how she lives knowing that he cheats.
Yeah.
But she's determined in her head that this is, you know, her situation, and she's not expecting anything more. In fact, it's when he starts showing her love that she's uncomfortable. Please, don't do this. This is not in keeping with what I know from you. Now, secondly, it also helped me see that there are a lot of women that like this social media
PDA.
love.
Yeah.
You know, we've had
like therapy.
conversations.
No,
Wait, no. You know,
Showing
we've
me
talked
on
about
WhatsApp.
showing me on WhatsApp. We've had conversations where we're like, no, we keep our special people close. Not everybody wants to show you on social media. Let's say this man was not cheating. Let's just say he just decided, you know what, I will start posting you now. And then you are here thinking, oh, it's because he's been served breakfast. You know? So it's...
He could have actually just changed his mind.
Yes, he could have changed his mind and thought, you know what, I would like to post you today. Or he's gone through something, maybe business-wise. Yes, or something business-wise, and he realized, you know what, in this hard life, the one place that I find peace
My peace of
is when I go
mind.
for
For them to say that is because they know he's cheating. They know.
They know
This
they
is
They might not know.
They are aware.
Mine
be
is saying
wrong
let's
as
give a
well.
perspective
Yeah,
that they might not know. They might just be assuming.
Let me connect with that story. Go ahead, Mike.
I wanted to read some messages. Corey Michael says, it's easy to say, Mommy YK, if the men open up that they want a second wife, una go agree, not be World War IV be that.
World War IV.
If I know poison them for in sleep.
reading it in pidgin.
But will men,
As written.
but will the men more accommodate? Sorry, I can't.
Accommodate.
Structure says so. If a partner suddenly becomes loving, it must mean that he served breakfast outside.
That was my question. Okay, let me take this call from Malade from Oshogbo. Malade, are you there? I think there's something wrong with our phone lines this morning. Okay, I would like to link this story to another story we've talked about in the past, where we see women, and I'd like to always start with you, Amina, on this. You know, women give testimonies in church that their husbands were gone for 20 years. You know, one went with the other women. What they call that thing? The other woman, right? Took away their husbands
And then he
for
came
years.
back.
And now he's back home. Hallelujah. And she has taken him back after 20 years, 25 years.
You say that in
alone.
church?
Yes.
You have to check,
Somebody will
right?
testify that my husband was gone for 20 years or gone for 25 years. You
The
know,
other woman.
yes, he traveled, he left, moved the country.
He left. Yeah, it's a testimony
Then
that he has
it's
come back.
interpreted-
Our family is finally reunited.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's that, the interpretation that it was jazz. They took it was jazz. They used to take him. They make an excuse for the man that this is what they did. They served him there.
Wow.
Now he's back home. And they
Jeffo.
expect the woman to be embraced. I mean, family.
Yes.
They're telling her you should be happy. He came home. We thank
Wow.
God. Hallelujah. And the
very
woman is
good.
getting excited. And somebody like me will look at it again. It's okay. Let's look at this again.
break it down.
Let's break this thing down.
Break it down.
The time, your prime, the days where you needed companion, you needed advice in your business, you needed a partner in the other room, you didn't have access to that because this man left you. Now, they have served him divine breakfast. So that after 25 years, somebody left him and now he's coming back old, raggedy to you because you love him so much. You are expected to accept him and love him as you loved him when you were in your 20s. How do we handle this, Amina?
I just had to take a deep breath. Because this one is heavy, right? So even if you look at the matrimonial causes laws, after 2 years, you are literally considered unmarried.
Really?
Even the law says that if you have not been together after 2 years, you're married. So far, you both consent. Now, after 3 years,
Just sign.
I can go and divorce you without you even consenting. Because what am I doing for 20 years of my life that God has given me to live and prosper and impact this world? Just sitting and waiting for somebody. There's no world in which that can
No,
ever
he has
make
promised
sense to
you.
me.
He has promised you he'll be back.
There's no world.
No, listen. Like,
In which that can ever make
there's an
sense to
angle
me.
where, you know what, he has gone. But you have decided to stay with your children. Your own ambition in life is just to watch those children grow up, have a family. So you're there connecting with their uncles. So you don't want another man to come into your life to come and take that space. So you are being deliberate about raising your children. But there's that inner desire in you to be loved, to be cared for. But you're willing to suppress that for the sake of your children. So I've done it for 20 years.
So 2 things. What if there's no uncles? What if I'm doing it all by myself? That's the first thing. Anything suppression is not natural, especially for a prolonged time. I lost my mother to breast cancer. And everything we see about what causes cancer, what doesn't cause it, they say stress, they say suppression. Like, I personally
Mental health.
cannot understand it. You know, how you will wake up every day for 20 years and say, maybe he'll come home. What if he's dead? What if he's been kidnapped? What, you know, like,
Okay, what if
it's
he's not
so
completely
unrealistic.
gone? What if he's not disappeared, but he's in your life in a way with the children, but he's not just your husband and partner. So he's in your life. So you know that he's there and sometimes takes care of the bills and things like that.
Yeah.
How would you wait?
I think it's totally
Do you know
different.
why I find it even surprising that women actually, that is testimony in church?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, it is actually.
Yeah,
So
but
God
also,
has-
have you-
we-
do you
well,
think they're
I grew up
waiting?
thinking there was jazz involved. That's the narrative
Yeah.
that somebody jazzed him and
That's-
took him away from the
exactly.
house for
So
10
you
years,
go to
20
I know
years.
somebody that it happened to.
Yes, you're
You
praying
go
that
to-
God will
yeah,
bring him
this-
back.
this is a
Bring him back.
I know this woman, very, very beautiful woman.
You're
I mean,
actually
I saw her pictures when she was
True,
younger.
And she
Beautiful,
did
attractive.
testimony.
This woman.
They are praying for him to
I'm
come
just
back.
giving you an example. This is a woman that,
Yeah,
if you
that's
see
shocking.
her younger years,
Yeah.
this was a gorgeous woman.
And he left.
Unfortunately, the man left. And she abandoned her with her children. Let me not say the children. Now, this woman now had to go and sleep and stay in MFM because that's the only way, that's the only place you can get deliverance. Because she believed that there was they used jazz to take him. So every ancestral baggage, she was tackling it for years. Fast forward 20 plus years, the guy shows up. And
Finally
she's
broke the
thankful
jazz.
to God that the jazz was broken.
Very
He's
powerful
back.
jazz. It took 20 years.
So
Anyway,
he's back and that she's been there. Celibate.
many
That's
men
the power of the jazz. That go back and move that jazz.
Yes, so
Me-
many
because me
men
too, I
have
would have
gotten
moved
away
on
with bad
after
behavior.
20
I
years.
moved on with whatever my
She
jazz
can't
is.
move on because she's a Christian. Can't move on because she's a child of
become a
God.
Muslim.
Many men have,
Actually, as it should be.
many
Oh
men
my
have gotten
God.
away with terrible, bad behavior
And that's
Yes.
actually
on
yeah.
the
Because
grounds
Islam-
on the grounds of jazz. I mean, men are so blessed. The male privilege.
Exactly.
You people can just blame everything else in this world except
But do you think
yourself
they're blessed,
for
though?
for bad behavior. Jazz for 20 years. How powerful. I mean, this everlasting God, this Jesus that breaks curses left, right, and center, but the one that holds you to another woman or various women, he's unable to do it 20 years later. So you also describe a woman that decided to do it.
Yes.
So let's know that is a decision that she made. So even she may not even see it as suppression. She may just, this is just my decision. There are some people who have divorced and said, you know what, I don't want to be married again. I just want to face myself and my children. So it's a decision. As long as that's your decision, then good for you. But if it's not, if you find yourself in a situation like that right now, hopefully maybe we're speaking to someone, and you're thinking about it 3 years after, really there's no marriage according to law, please learn to live your life. Find another person or another avenue that you can
if it doesn't
express
come back?
yourself.
Maybe you don't even
No, it
want
doesn't.
another
That's
person.
what I'm
That's
saying.
the
It may
thing.
not be another person.
Yeah.
Maybe some people just live your life happy. Don't wait for anyone. And
Let me
the
take
man
this
will
call.
meet you wherever he meets you.
Lisa from Okearo, thanks for calling. Sorry for keeping you. You there? Phone lines. Good morning,
wrong.
Lisa. Okay,
Something's wrong.
let me go on a short break. When we come back, we'll continue with this
maybe
conversation. Stay with
message
us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing when men go for years and come back home and hope to be reconciled with their families. And in Nigerian women, many times accepts and receives them back with joy and happiness. Many of them even testify in churches that, my husband was gone for 20 years, now he's back. Bisi Obiajulu was there to join the conversation. She said that, I saw on social media yesterday, this man woke up from jazz after 30 years and started shouting that he doesn't know his wife, that she's a stranger, and was calling the name of his first wife, Ginika. That's the name. So obviously, based on what this video that BC is referring to, it's possible it was jazz for 30 years. He woke up, the jazz faded off, right? And then the wife is calling wife, he doesn't recognize her anymore. He's like, where is Ginika? Because that's the person he remembers from his wife. So according to this story, this jazz exists and people actually love their spouse for years.
Good. There's a twist. It could be dementia and
dementia. Would you just heal from dementia like that?
No.
So the memories that will come to you are the memories of your past. Oh my goodness.
So in 30 years, he had a life with this other woman. But now he's woken up.
Responded to dementia. People say it's not dementia. It happened to somebody.
Well, until she takes him to the hospital.
You confirm. I want to say this. You know that I've been holding since before we went on break. This idea of jazz, kayamata, the devil, has been used and abused and as excused by men. You would go out in your philandering ways, come back home and say, it wasn't me, I don't know, the devil something just takes over. Or you go and come back and you say, the woman must have done something. And that's what the excuse is. And we women have accepted, a lot of women have accepted this excuse for so long. We have abdicated the fact that the man has common sense to say that there is a spiritual power, that there has been manipulation. I'm not saying there is no manipulation, because we are in Africa, and in Africa we believe there is manipulation. So there's this manipulation that has converted your husband from being a responsible man into being a serial cheat. That there is a transgenerational curse on his life. I'm telling you prayer points you will hear. Ancestral. His father, great-grandfather, that's how the men in the family are. They always have several women. They have head of women. They have head of women. We should pray and God should deliver them. And women are the ones carrying the burden of an irresponsible man who has not taken responsibility for his life. And is blaming jazz and blaming some spiritual powers instead of you just taking your own life and take responsibility for your life and move with your own life on. Generations.
Women and children. The children suffer so much.
The template becomes the template for the children.
We don't talk about this.
Let me take this call from Lisa. She called back Okaro. Good morning, Lisa from Okaro.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, awesome.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
God bless you, ladies. God bless you. I enjoy your program.
Thank you, ma.
Concerning the woman that testified in the church that the husband left for maybe 20 years and the man returned. Personally, that testimony is not biblical. When God Almighty says something is not good, it is not good. He said man and woman should stay together. They should not separate. How can somebody live for 20 years and come back?
Exactly.
It's not biblical. Thank God that the woman did not return with stroke. How was this woman when the man left? Then at times, maybe it could be because of ordination. There are times women, when they want to be ordained, because you are a single parent, they will not ordain you, this and that. It could even be the reason why she was even happy that the man is even back home. Many things is hidden. God will help us in this offering, but it's not biblical.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Can I just say one more thing? Joy Isibewaji posted something, I think about 2 days ago, I read it. It was very funny. He said, how do men think that they think that when this heaven thing that, this in his church testimony we're discussing, you would come back, you would testify with your wife and thank God that you don't know what happened to you. Is it that you get to heaven, that God that sees everything will judge you differently from how he judges women? Because women are meant to be faithful. It's frowned upon if a woman cheats. But a man expects that I will serve God and cheat, and then God will suddenly, on judgment day, all of us will just be okay. We are not willing to look at it from another perspective. Somebody on YouTube is asking this, sorry please, I would yield in a few minutes, was asking that this jazz is real. Mariam, face it. I said, how come it's men? Yes, that you should
Covered by
face
the
the
blood of
reality
Jesus.
of the jazz
You can
being real.
face-
That how come men are the ones getting jazzed? And if a woman gets jazzed and goes to meet, marries another man, he comes back home. Very rarely will the man be waiting for 10 years or even 5 years for the woman to come back home. So this jazz only applies to one faction of the sex in this world.
Yeah.
Someone,
And I was
someone
going to
send me a
say,
text.
Let me
Okay,
go
take
for
the
that
call.
call. Alade, thanks for calling. You're live. Hello, Alade.
Hello, good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, see, I'm a big fan of this show.
First time?
So
Huge fan.
Huge fan, okay.
I'm
Thank
calling.
you.
He's a first-time caller.
First time caller, welcome to the show.
All right, you see, I'm going to just drop this here. Every man has a high tendency to cheat. You know, you see tons of women outside every day. Forget you have a happy home, forget your wife is going to here. It's just
You're all on your phone.
Yeah, I know most women will argue. You know, it depends on how well or perhaps how far you can cope with that. So here's the key difference between a cheating man and a cheating woman, okay? A man can cheat and still love his wife or partner passionately. It's hard for women to cheat and still love their man the same way.
Who told you that?
It's hard for women to cheat.
Who told you that? That was the empirical study that men can cheat and still love their wife, and women cannot love their husband and still cheat. Like, that, I've heard that thing several times, but like, what's the science behind it?
Yeah, I'm just to be that true, honestly.
It's a narrative that supports men.
Thank you, Alade.
The science that
Yeah,
works
so
behind
based
it.
on what...
Message. Good morning, Yeni. Some men leave even when you are together, and when things do not work for them, or when they become broke or old, and the side chicks do not want them, they come crawling
Exactly.
back, expecting their wives to accept them as if
Lost them.
all it has been well.
Yeah.
I've seen women with their husbands going through emotional and physical separation. May God help women.
Yes,
Okay.
Mariam, we're going
I
to jump
do
in.
have a question. Sorry,
Wait,
were
go
you
ahead.
going?
Okay.
So this jazz that affects you, that you forget your wife, do you forget your business? Do you forget your friends? Do you forget to take trips? Do you forget to do the fun things you love?
Yeah.
Or do you suddenly become a farmer?
You
Like,
forget
does
to
that
eat.
jazz, do you understand, does
As
it take
in-
everything?
Or
Just, it only removes
that-
you
that-
from,
that-
your wife and maybe your children.
yes.
Some will
But
also
Kayamata
abandon
only
the
removes you
children.
from... Kayamata is very specific to one thing to do. So maybe that's what they have.
Let Mariam
Okay,
redefine
yeah.
Kayamata,
No,
beg.
no, Mara cannot redefine Kayamata.
But you
because
told
she
me that
doesn't know.
Kayamata in the north is not meant
Okay,
to be...
okay, you mean that? Okay, because I know. I'm
don't
telling
put
you
it on
before you
me.
put it on me. But you know, yes, there are things, aphrodisiacs is what they are mainly
Yeah.
known for. But of course, over time, we would hear some people say, oh, they go
gum
to someone
you.
who will pray over it, or someone who has said something over it, and they've used it. And for me, I just believe that they're just excuses. And I was going to also refer to the part where he said, you know, when you go to heaven, judgment day, they will bring out the Old Testament for God and say, God, see, I mean, they have too many, leave that, they have too many excuses. And then to our caller that said that women feel differently. Society made women that way. So that's the suppression Maria mentioned earlier. There's a societal suppression. There's many things that women cannot get away with. A man can go away for 30 years and come back home, to that same home, to that same wife, to
We'll
those
call
same
it home.
children.
Yeah.
A woman can go away for 3 months, and that's the end of that life as she
There's
knows
no
it.
more house.
There's no
Can you
forgiveness.
say that
there's-
louder?
Yeah.
For
There's
people
so
in the
many-
back.
There's so
No,
many
no,
that
I'm just
forgive
saying,
their wives
like,
now.
that life that she knows is
Some
gone
do actually.
forever.
It's gone.
3 months. Let the world...
Miriam,
No, no,
I think
wait,
you're
wait.
being
Wait.
subjective. No, there
Wait,
are some
let me
men that
fin-
actually forgive their
Okay,
wives.
can I finish?
Few.
Let the world hear that she has gone for 3 months. They will make sure that man does not take her back.
Yeah, it can be done
If
if
it
nobody
happens
knows.
silently,
Absolutely.
many men have taken many women back silently. But if the world knows that she's been out of that house for 1 day with a man, they put it on social media, there's nothing that woman can do. She will
Nothing.
And even if he
forever...
takes her back, she's not happy in that home because she's
know.
going to
They will
frustrate her. She's
forever
giving him
remind
the
her.
license to cheat.
I disagree.
Forever.
Right, some men actually will take their
Honorable.
wives back. Yeah.
After cheating or just leaving home?
Even after cheating.
I
haven't found any.
cheating.
But let me
haven't
pause.
seen
Let me
any.
pause after that. Buki is calling from Bagada. I'll come back to that. Oh, I'm so sorry, Buki. Can we? Hello, Buki. I really want to talk to Buki. I'm so sorry about that. Let's go back to the thought you just said concerning men taking back their wives when they cheat. Do you actually think they would?
I'm sure that they will. I'm sure that some men will actually take back their wives. Because why, if they will not, why, when a woman leaves a man because of another man, why is that man always still resentful and there is always still that chemistry.
Ego.
Sour
No,
grapes
apart
and
from-
ego.
No, it's not just ego.
Sour grapes
There is
and
always,
ego.
and there is still that chemistry with the woman. Come on. Some men will take their wives back.
But do you know
It is-
any?
And when they do,
there's some men that
it's the same way that they say she has used jazz on him. It's the same way. They say it, yes.
I've had
We
very few
know,
anyone
yeah,
has
we will
happened
say
to.
it.
I know
that they
someone
use
that
That
they,
yes, the woman
they
used
had to
jazz on
bring
the
my
man.
mom to come and settle the quarrel. The husband actually came to meet his mother-in-law to beg his mother-in-law that he doesn't know what he has to do, but his wife keeps cheating, going and coming back.
Really? And then the
Yeah,
mother-in-law said,
true life, like, and the
I said,
mother-in-law
no, there
did not
are
know what
some
to
men.
do
Okay, there are no
and
cases-
called my mom
it's
into the
like
scenario.
0.00.
There are, yeah, but there are very few, but there are.
Felix, I'll come to you.
Sweet 0.00.
Felix, 0.00%.
That's why they always abusing us on this table, that we always favor women.
Felix, thanks for calling for help.
okay, that was generally speaking. We're saying generally speaking.
Hello, Mr. Felix, are you there?
Yeah.
Go ahead, please. You're live.
Okay. Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, I want you to understand that there are spirituals that exist.
Spiritual, yeah.
In this, spiritual exists. So the word of that Kayamata and husband leaving the house, it's true. It exists.
It's true.
It exists in this, yes, it's very true.
Wow.
But it's specific. So when people say, okay, why did he not miss his business? Why did he not lose other things? Why is it just... It's specific for that purpose. For that particular purpose. That was it. I had somebody who said that a man woke up in the morning and said, this is not the wife I'm married. I'm married. So there are charms. So we must take that as true and fact. So let us not disclose that. But the issue now is, to many views, the time that it took, if it took maybe 10 years, 5 years and all that, the woman can make up her mind to say, I just need to move on. I need to go on. This person coming back again is something else. Something can still take him back after that same home.
Why
It
take
can
him,
still
Felix?
take him back from that same home. The Kayamata can still come back. So it is better for the
That
woman
does happen.
I have
If you
a
allow
message.
it.
Thank you very
If you
much.
allow that stuff.
Felix. Yes, YK.
I have a message from Chief Odunton. He says, YK, a man can cheat and still love his wife. I can take my wife back if she cheats.
Okay.
Okay, that's
Good.
This is Chief Odunton. We all know him.
Yeah.
Did you
So
say
he
you
has
should
said-
mention his name?
I said I'm going to read it out loud. He said, yes, please.
There's something,
yes,
there's
you
an
do.
angle I would like us to also go back to.
Okay.
Because I had talked about the fact that some women choose to stay
Yes.
or choose to accept the men back.
Yeah.
And I think I was saying something about that it's their choice and they should allow that choice. And I was saying that the choice is because society doesn't give them too many options. So the fact that you choose to stay or take back a man, it's not because you really deep down in your heart, to your core, want to take that man, but because you are hurt. But because society expects you to be thankful he came back. Society expects you to be grateful he came back. So because of that, you take him back. Not because you really, because left to you, you rather just have remarried and moved on. But society expects you to make that choice with your children.
And you know, that also brings up the topic of when you do wait and choose to take the person back, what sort of marriage happens
Afterwards.
after then? Because we've heard of bitter wives that when the man is sick, she treats him horribly because of what he put her through. So do we even want that? You know, because it does not end. Hey, we go to the to church, thank God he's home, and then we're now home, and then they
fall
give
sick.
you, before every time you're falling ill, or you're sick and no one comes to see you in hospital. So it's really better for us to make the decision to be truly happy. If bringing him home or if waiting for him to come home would not bring me any happiness, then we should stop encouraging women to do that. And a man too. You know, sometimes I say men are quite audacious. After treating a woman like that, you want to come back. If I'm the man, if I come back to that house, I won't even eat your food. I'll be too afraid to sleep in your house because I know what I have done, and anything I receive, you know, I'll deserve it. So, but men,
Can I say something
Please,
about
I have to
that?
read
I
some
think they
messages.
don't remember. Honestly. I think they,
Or they choose.
yeah, they have selective amnesia and they honestly pack it, or they see it so differently that even when you hear them talking and explaining, you're like, you did it to me. Like, I experienced it. Don't try and act like that's not real, but...
Go ahead, YK.
Yeah.
So Adeoye Oladayo says, Auntie Miriam, try and believe jazz exists.
Hey,
I
believe in Jesus Christ.
I get friend where her father, they always do it for people when I was small in the 1990s. Then, about Rushmore says, not sure, but a cheating woman will definitely destroy her husband in the short or long term. And Hafsa says, Chief Odunto, it's easier to say, may God not test you.
So,
may God not test you.
Mariam said something, and you mentioned selective amnesia. I think it's just because society has allowed it. Men know that the women will forgive. But we've seen some things and welcome them back. But we've seen some cases in the northern part of Nigeria where they marry young girls. There was a particular story we took in the paper where I think the girl was like 13 or between 13 and 15, and she poisoned the man.
14.
14. She poisoned the man.
She poisoned the whole wedding party.
Everybody. Because it is when we see those kind of impacts that men will realize that, okay, I can't get away with this. Abroad, if you try to say, they will shoot you.
No,
the
that
woman
data is not documented.
Yes, it's not documented.
It is well documented. People see the data. Certain people, young girls do this.
When you marry them off illegally, we don't have the data. There are also cases where, even in Nigeria right now, there are some women that are poisoning their husbands small inside the house right now that they are watching us like this. And some men, yes, now, the point is that you will not kill immediately. That you will be doing small. I don't know what it is, though.
I think we should.
But we have read the stories that there are small things they put that will be causing the person to, like, in movies they say cyanide. That if you
don't call names.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I mean, but in movies. But anyway, these things kill, and some men are going to be dying small. They don't know that they are eating the poison, not spiritual killing. It is the woman is intentionally hurting you back.
2 more spiritual takes.
Yes.
If you're spiritual, and I can't speak to Christianity because I'm Muslim, and I'll speak to Islam in a second, but if you're a Christian, at least from all I hear, right? You believe in God, you call the blood of Jesus to wash things away. How can you also believe in jazz? It's contradictory. So I would say at a minimum, you can say, oh, I know that the devil exists and has powers, but that cannot touch me and my family and my
Exactly. That's our category.
So now in Islam, yes, a man can marry up to 4 wives and treat them equally. So again, when you were talking about northern women, it's not considered cheating because there would be the conversation with the wife. It's an approval system.
Yes.
It's not that you go out and you sneak around. It's, I am the type of man that may want more than one wife. Are you the type of wife that will be able to cope with that? And for some, it never happens. But for those who want it, by the time they start dating, their wife will never talk about cheating because she already knows it's expected.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Yes.
Would you accept a second wife?
Personally not. I'm just
But
not.
you're Muslim now.
Yeah, but I just said personally not because it doesn't work for me. I grew up in a monogamous home. It was my father and my mother separated by death.
Wow.
2 months apart.
Wow.
So I don't know anything else. So it's foreign to me.
Who died first?
My dad. And 2 months to the date, my mother passed away. Yeah, so it's foreign to me. But if I had a husband who treated me well, who's kind to me, who takes care of our children, who takes care of our home, and it had been a conversation,
Earlier.
then I'll be like, you know what, he said it, so it's not a lie, he's not deceiving me. I don't know how I would receive it, but all those things are not present, and then there's going to be a second wife. No. No, thank you. Alone is better.
My former teacher sends me this. Says, one brought home a side chick he found in church. As I sent this message, she was forced to leave. Now he wants her back after the new wife dealt with him. And now he is bedridden. He's begging his wife to come back. Her grown-up children have refused her to come back.
Put him in a nursing home. He's bedridden.
And I'm looking for a nanny.
I wanted to touch on
I call it adult delinquency.
I wanted to touch on this issue of jazz again, because I'm going to wrap up on this very soon, but I'd like us to just touch on it one more time, because I read a very heartbreaking story this morning on social media about a man who was planning to relocate to the UK. His whole family spent a lot of money. I think he was going first. And then as he arrived in the UK, he died.
Oh.
So, of course, people say that they followed him, they put jazz, something happened. Because he's in the UK, of course, they're trying to do an autopsy to know what happened. It's possible some kind of a heart condition, underlying heart treatment, or the stress of the trip, or some kind of the weather. They're probably going to come up with the reason. But because nobody understood the reason, they automatically began to say that it was jazz, that it's these family people, they followed him to the airport. You something at the edge of breakthrough. That thing.
Yes.
You at the edge of breakthrough.
Yeah, they followed him to the edge of breakthrough. Then we pray against it.
Pray against the
Means
fact
that will take you.
enemy at the point of breakthrough. Auntie, you are at the prayer point now.
I don't pray those prayers anymore.
At the point of breakthrough,
Enemy
that's
at the
the
point of
powers.
breakthrough.
So as Christians, we live in powers and principalities.
Yes.
Do you understand? But we also know that with Christ, you know, we are protected, and we can call on God and he will protect us. But the way we speak about it in Nigeria, it's almost like God's power ceases to exist once jazz is in the picture. So that's why I don't understand when Christians say, oh, but there is jazz, and he can hold you ransom for 30 years, and that person will go to church every day of his life, back and forth, raising their children in Christ, but that particular jazz has held him to side chicks. So you see, it doesn't make sense. So that's why this jazz is not consistent.
Yeah.
It's not.
You know,
It's not.
and as you mentioned, the jazz does not stop you from enjoying life and doing all the nice things, but it's just that your jazz is against women and the happiness of the union and the happiness of your children. So for me, that's why jazz, I don't believe, as he said, this person what happened to him, it could be an illness. And I wish, we don't know if the family would agree for an autopsy to be done, but it will help us, you know, going forward to understand the sort of things that we believe in and what to question, you know.
Okay, we're going to wrap up on this, but I think in a nutshell, we had started with a story differently, but we ended up talking about this issue of women waiting for 20 plus years, or even 10 years, 15 years for a man who has abandoned them, and they're happily taking him back. And we're saying, okay, on what basis are you taking him back? Others are grateful they made that choice to stay with their children, and they're grateful that they are back, that their husbands are back. Others are saying that I can choose to move on with my life. I don't have to take you back. I don't need you back in my life. So either way, society must just be, I think it's the deception we talked about earlier, that whatever decision you make sure both of you have agreed to that decision, and it's consensual, and both of you can then decide on how to move on with that relationship. I think I have a final caller on this before I wrap up. Good morning, Andrew. Sorry for keeping you. Okay, I lost that call. So that's all we can take on this topic. When we come back, we'll move on to another topic. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we found a tweet from Senator Shehu Sani asking why African young boys marry European grandmoms, but don't want to marry African grandmoms. And his tweet sparked conversations online. And we just wanted to hear your thoughts. Now, the reason why many young boys marry European old women or grandmoms, obviously, many of them is for citizenship, green card issues. Many of that happens. Or it could be other reasons. It could be real love. You never know. But the real conversation I want to have here is, why is it so difficult for young African men to see beautiful grandmas and have a problem getting married to them or falling in love with them? Especially now, today, where 60 is the new 50. A lot of 50-year-olds now are looking 40.
Actually.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of 60-year-olds are looking 40, they're looking 50, they're looking very young.
Yeah.
40-year-olds are looking 30.
Yeah.
You know, I don't look 40, you know.
You don't?
I don't look 40, you know. Yeah.
If you
Why not?
must blow your
We're all like
trumpet.
25.
So yeah, so everybody's hustling to lose weight, to look good, to do their spas, to look great. You see white kid, you don't look 60, you look nothing like 60. So a lot of young people are saying, you know what, I could do you, you know, but we grandmas here are not interested, or even the young boys are finding it difficult because society will judge them. What are your thoughts on this?
I don't know. This one reply, it says, make I marry African grandma from them, make they relocate me from Lagos to Kogi.
Nigerians are
Good comments.
So they are like,
so what's the benefit?
what's the benefit?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Because young men...
Have you ever been toasted before?
Yeah, young men have toasted me now.
Really? What
And,
did they
and I
say?
find it
Tell us,
very
tell us,
amusing.
tell us.
They are,
What did they say
Why,
exactly?
first tell me, what do they look like? Like
They are men. They are...
No, as in, what do they look like? They
Like,
look rich,
are they
young,
like braided guys with
six-pack,
sagging or suits?
Why the two of you so?
Tell us now, give us a description.
Different ones, they're different ones, and they will be toasting you, and you'll be looking at come, I can be your mother.
Yeah, like what
Or
do they
your
say to you?
grandmother.
What
How
do they
does it
say
feel?
to you?
I just find it amusing.
What do they
What
say?
are the kind of?
Why
How do they? What are the words that
And
they
is it
say?
like a
when they
spec?
say? No.
Is it like a spec?
Doctor, please, let's just find out first. When they approach you for the toasting, what do they say?
Like they give her angle.
What are the words?
Like, what are the words? What if you,
You can't remember.
please?
Why are you putting your hand? She's blushing. They're blushing. No, I'm just like, I can't, you know, for me, if a young boy
Okay, you know what?
chases
I'll
me,
give you a moment
it's very
to
amusing.
remember.
Do they go like hot mama?
No,
Like
no,
the
I
way
don't
you
think
look?
so.
Or
They whack it
or
power.
they send you a proper text and say, I know you may think my
Ah,
age
where
is
will they get number first?
They can even toast you on
One-on-one.
One-on-one. Mama, come now. Come. Me and you know be mate. Leave that one.
Okay.
Theo is watching you.
Please, you don't want to scatter what is at home. But, you know, Shehu knows the reason
Yes.
Nigerians marry those older women abroad. It's usually for documentation. But there are there are few exceptions to that story where Nigerian young men marry older Caucasians, and it has nothing to do with the Nigerian is documented. He just fell in love with this older person. Very few, but majority is documentation. But in Nigeria, our older women are very spiritual, and they are very, like our older women are taking care of they are married to Jesus, taking care of their grandchildren. They're looking at themselves like,
eyes
what
on
am I
God.
looking for again? You know, if you ask that 65-year-old woman that maybe she just became widowed, or 70-year-old woman that just became widowed, she'll be like, what am I looking for in a man? Let me just be taking care of my children and grandchildren. That's the mindset of majority of those people in their city.
But should it change?
It is already changing. If you look at our 50-something-year-olds now, the 50 is young. The 50s are dating 40-something, 30-something, and they don't have any problem with it.
Yeah.
And most likely when they become 60, if 40-something shows up, they will still date and they will build relationships. And because they are more open to... Have you seen Moabudu? She's taking care of herself.
I mean, she can,
Shafi
she's
Bello.
almost 60.
Put
She's
your
almost
lighters
there now.
on. Put your
Shafi
lighters
Bello,
on.
like
Yeah.
those
Put your
are
lighters on.
babes.
Yeah.
They are not 50s.
And those kind of
They
people
are-
cannot be dating a 70, 80 kind of thing.
No.
Okay, so
Can't they
then,
be dating a 70-year-old man?
No, they
Can I
could.
ask?
so some
For whatever
to stay-
reasons.
To stay what?
But not for
to
all
stay
the
young.
but
They
not for
don't
all
look
the
their
reasons.
age.
They could for some reasons, but not for all the reasons.
I love what she said. Please finish it.
For some
which
reasons.
which reasons?
Remember,
Can we allow-
there's
can we say
Ese
these
Lakuredo.
No, wait,
Mariah,
wait.
wants to say something.
Please, see, I want to understand what you're saying. So, older women, right, can date much older men. Why? Why do you think they can date them?
I think if you're dating a 70, 80-year-old man, companionship,
Okay.
probably he's wealthy, his kids are grown, he's going to take you all over the world and spend money. But you would not be dating him for activities
The other room.
in the other room.
I think they say
I mean,
But you see, the other room is an important part of a woman's lifestyle.
Absolutely.
To make her look younger. YK is getting it every day. I mean, she's and that's why she looks the way she
show
does.
the way,
That's
show the
the-
way,
So
show the
I
way,
can't
show
now
the way.
imagine YK is 70.
YK, look up.
YK still be
Show
getting
the
some. YK
way.
at 70, we used to be getting some.
She'll be getting some.
At 70,
Yeah,
what?
and-
We'll be getting some at 70.
Yes,
I hope so.
exactly.
You break your back.
No,
No, they
and
just
I-
adjust to
wait,
fit.
Adjust.
and I just also want to
Wait, she adjusts how you
No,
adjust.
you adjust to your bones.
Provisionary.
You adjust.
stick to
You
one
know,
side.
you just,
I see.
you know, all those when you used to carry,
You just
we are on national TV. Children are watching.
I'm not using any
children.
word. Okay, come then.
Okay, yes. So, you know, when you said that women may not date older, I mean, YK is in a relation, will not date older.
Yeah.
No, they say they
Because-
won't.
They will not date older for activities.
For different reasons.
Yes. I'm going to say that YK is a testimony that you can be with older and get it and still look young. Do you understand?
Absolutely.
Good. But I'm thinking that we have women who are, like we said, you know, much younger, youthful women now. And the things that they will find in common with younger men, they have more in common with younger men these days.
Yeah.
So it's easy for men like that to find them attractive, and women that age to also find these men attractive because they're in the gym with them, they're hanging out at the parties with them, they're wearing the same fashion, you know. So you find someone like that more attractive. So we're seeing a lot of that. Now, some surveys, I don't know how valid these surveys have shown, that the younger generation, Gen Z especially, many of them find older women attractive. So that's a thing now that, is, you know, they don't want to deal with the Gen Z Wahala girls, you know. They just like that old woman, the older woman. And then she now looks good these days.
Money
you know,
too.
And then she doesn't stress them financially.
Yeah.
She's emotionally stable.
You know, she has fun with them. She understands the topics that they're excited about. So we are going to see a lot more of that. Okay. Now, where we'll be headed is where people will now start heading to church, where our Nigerian boys start bringing grandmas home and saying they want to get married to them. I can see so many Nigerian mothers frowning at that. So this is something that we need to start looking at and accepting. We have had a conversation like this once before, and I remember Moreo bound and cast that this can never happen in her family. But, you know, this is something that we have to look towards. Marriages or unions like that should be, are they happy? Are they making each other happy? Are they, building each other? If that's the case, then kudos. Well done.
I like to stay on that word accepting. Let me come to that because, as I think Tokwe said it earlier, that this young people now, I mean older people now, are older women, they are married to the Lord, right? And many of them do not choose they're not sexually active. Once they are in that phase, they're not interested. But this new generation, our own generation,
they are very sexually
they are more
active.
So can these women retain, can they, I'm trying to find the right word, can these women, this is our generation, this is our Shafibelo kind of people, they want to remain active. Now, some of them might not be in their marriages. So this kind of people we have been looking for, they'll be looking for younger men. And just to connect to what Mariam said, can we, society, begin to accept that these kind of women will start dating and marrying young people, 30-year-olds? Can we begin to accept that as an institution on its own?
It's already it's happening in secret. It's not because society will not accept it. They're not open with those relationships.
The difference with a man marrying a younger woman is the younger woman can still give him children. Now, most parents want grandchildren. Now, if you marry an older woman, if you marry an older woman, she's not going to give you grandchildren. So she may not accept it because she said surrogacy. But how many? How many can accept it? I'm a grandmother, so. No, I won't because I have a daughter. You know, but if it was a son and my son now brought in a 70-year-old woman, this is the love of his life, I will now say, you mean you're not going to give me grandchildren? I'm being as honest as I possibly can.
But after that, would you allow it?
What if she says, I had eggs frozen for many years and we can do that?
You can marry a young girl.
I'm not going to, I don't want to talk hypothetically because
you're not in the situation.
I'm not in the situation and I don't think I can be in the situation because I have a daughter. But I can understand a grandmother being, or a potential grandmother being upset that, hey, they have just my son.
What if the son has always said, I don't want a child?
So you know, but some cases, but the reality is that sometimes you can marry a young person, two young people marry each other, and somehow 10 years down the line, they still couldn't have children until surrogacy.
Yes.
So those things happen. So and life shouldn't. We are redefining it little by little. I'm moderating a conference on Saturday that is about infertility. It's an infertility conference, and the topic is always about our society needs to accept.
Infertility is different too.
I know, but I'm saying that some cases we're talking about grandmothers, and Mariah asked a question about accepting. But because I have boys, I want to become a grandmother. I'm looking forward to that season in my life. So obviously I want it, but I think that as a society we need to start having this kind of conversations around the fact that all children don't have to be biological to be your children, and they will still be loved and accepted in the family. And if the relationship would bring fulfillment and joy, I know. If the relationship will bring fulfillment, if the relationship between your partner and your child and an older person will bring your child joy, fulfillment, and purpose, building each other, it should be accepted.
But let me put you on the spot. Your eldest boy or your twins, they now come to you with one 80-year-old woman. This is the love of their life.
No.
Will you say sorry?
80
Even already like
80 is fine.
No, don't say 80.
Look,
we're already saying this 60s.
I can show you an 80-year-old woman that looks beautiful.
Yeah.
She's fine. She's fine.
Why they get
I would want to be sure that my children are
okay,
not
when
being
she's 60,
manipulated.
like YK.
I want to be sure my children are not being manipulated, and that's a major concern.
Yeah,
that's why
definitely.
many women are scared of their children marrying someone older because they feel this person is wise and they can manipulate them. If I am sure the relationship is going to help my child become the best, what God has supposed him to do, and it will be fulfilled, I will not frown against it. Because for me, I am married in a cross-cultural marriage that is largely frowned upon within my circle when I was going to get married. So it took my parents accepting the fact that she has said she's happy with this man, even though he does not speak my language, I would let her have it. So I'm going to extend that same grace to my children, that I'll let them take their decision as long as I am sure that they are going to be happy in that place. I support them with prayers. That's the best I can do.
Okay, so going back to this issue of young women, because as I said before, a 50-year-old woman right now, she's divorced. She's leaving her marriage. And she still wants to live. Because the assumption in Nigeria is that you're 50, you have grown kids, your children are already going to university. What are you looking for? Just stay and be happy with your children. That analogy was accepted back then. But today, a 50-year-old woman wants to live.
Look at Kate
Wants to live.
Kate,
I can
wants to
actually see
live.
Kate Henshaw with a 30-something
Exactly.
year old. I mean,
Totally.
So things are different now.
see.
So it's the accepting of the fact that, okay, are women also really ready to open up their hearts again for love?
Now that's another conversation.
And then
choices.
so in society, I mean, because I always say that society always kind of gives us the options.
Yeah.
But if a woman who is divorced at the age of 50 or at the age of 55 says, you know what, I would like to remarry. Or widowed, would society allow her to fall in love? Or would she even allow herself?
That's the real.
I think that's the real
I'm
question.
sure she will allow herself. Like you say, Shafi Bello, she will allow herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of Nigerian women don't.
No, allow herself to be with a younger person or just
Even
Love
to be
again.
with somebody.
Okay.
So for me, my whole life is about vibrancy. Is ginger, is the life is short. It's live. I was 25 and I lost both my parents. So I don't understand a life of just stand still and maybe something will happen. You know, I understand a life of, and Islam says this, you live like tomorrow is your last day, but you also live like you have 1,000 more, you know? So I would look for love, or I would be open to love. Let me not say look, you know, I'm not particular, but I would be very open. I would be open to a happy, loving relationship, be it with a younger person, be with an older person. I think all these labeling also are kind of issues. Like, I want to be with somebody that makes me feel good to be in their company, that takes care of me, that respects me, that honors me, and that I can do that back. And if that person is younger or older,
So when you ask the question, the reason I asked if, you know, you're asking specifically if it's just generally or younger men, I've actually heard from people who used to be in relationship with maybe men who are exactly their age or younger, and they say it's hard because they have to work harder at keeping the looks and keeping up, you know. You know, the way you are at 20 or 30 where you hang out all night and then wake up the next day and you're off to work. So there's so many activities you may be unable to, you know, participate in because your body does not recover as quickly.
The maturity of a younger man, they're very immature.
Yes, but then of course we know that there are situations where they have gotten married. I mean, look at the president of France.
I was going to talk about him.
So he seems to have worked it out.
They have to work with. They have to deal with sagging breast. You have to lose
Don't
skin.
put all of it this thing outside.
But how
now.
about
There's options.
No, but Mariah, people who are married to the same age or younger, they still
at
see
some
you
point they
grow
will.
older.
Hey, but
You
please,
deal
we are
with
going
the
well together. Not that me, I'm still looking fresh, and now I have a woman who's already.
No. Let's say
has
you
loose
meet. No,
skin.
let's say you meet this person in their 40s or you meet them in their 50s, and they work out and everything. They're still good, and then you love them already at that age. By the time they get to their 80s, this is the person you already love. And just for regular people and the same age, you just continue to love them.
Somebody sent me a message here.
Body doesn't make you stop.
Oladipo says, Mariah, how do you relate to a daughter-in-law that is about your age or even older? That happens in this kind of relationship. So these are called the accepting.
The way that
what
my
I'm
husband
saying.
relates with my
This is
mother.
what- because
Okay, your husband relates with your mom.
Yes.
They're
that's
similar
how
ages.
Yes.
would
But it's
relate.
accepted
Yes.
from the
Yes.
man.
So it's the
Sons,
accepting
older.
part of society
Yeah.
accepting.
but where it's different is because
He's a man.
He's
Yeah.
a man. You can still have kids. If I don't know if you even wanted kids.
Exactly.
Eh,
Because you know you already
that's
had
another
kids.
thing. When you marry
Younger.
an older man, he may not want kids anymore, and you want kids. I know of my age mate. He has gone to go and marry one young girl,
And he doesn't want-
and he doesn't want kids, and she has gotten pregnant, and he has
Wahala.
been lamenting, lamenting.
How would you know what gets
But what was
So
you thinking?
I asked him. I said, when you go and marry a 30-year-old, what do you expect? That
Young
should not have
viral,
children.
she's starting out her life.
Better just accept it.
Do you know this is a real thing?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm not going to pretend because when I met my husband, already he had three children, and it was okay. We're going to have one. And me, all my life, that's all I wanted: one child. Then we give birth to our one child, and he said, "My child needs a companion."
Yeah.
And then he made me say, "See, this is against our agreement. This second one, you must do this. I don't have the strength." But of course, in real life, he's doing everything a father. But at that time, there was a conversation. It was funny, but it's a real thing. So these are some of the things you would discuss if you are getting to a marriage with someone who is much older, male or female.
why
Or
so-
younger.
going back to
And that's
the
what's
call, I have a
beautiful, is
call.
the discussions, just be open and honest
Let me
with
take
each other.
Festus. Festus, thanks for calling. Hello, Festus.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Sorry, when I read the message, I just burst into laughter.
Your topic.
Thank you, sir.
But there's no way you people can think. You only assume. You can't go how we think like men. Because all of you are women. So you can only assume we are not on the same page.
Okay.
So those who are doing that, marrying European grandmom, they are doing it for a purpose.
Definitely.
They are doing it for survival. But if you do that in Africa, if you are already in your 60s abroad, you are government property. So they will take care of you at old age. But in Africa, you will buy the coffee. So you don't want to go into liability relationship. Because at the end, people around you will say, what are you going to do? Don't you have eyes? How can you go and marry you want to buy coffee?
Oh, you didn't get
You want to buy coffee?
Oh, you didn't hear what
I
he
didn't
said?
hear
He
you.
said in Europe, the women, once they turn 60, they are the property of the government, so they will take care of them. But in Nigeria, that means you have to start taking care of buying coffee.
You're a liability relationship.
Okay, so let's not go as far as Festus, because I like to people like YK on the spot here, because there are women who have children who are in their mid-30s. So listen, let's be more real. Let's not go to the extreme of the coughing, of the diabetes, stuff like that. Let's see a 30-year-old man just got a job at NNPC, starting his life. He's 32, he's doing well, and falls in love with a 52-year-old woman who is gorgeous, looks like a Ketenshaw, does her exercise. Why is there a problem? Why? So as a mother, would you accept that? Because she might not want to have children. He probably not even interested in kids right now. He's willing and accepting to adopt. He's fine with adoption. He's okay with adoption. He just wants to be with this 52-year-old woman. He's happy. How would why do Nigerian mothers, why is already sighing?
I'm 52, and the way you keep saying this 52-year-old
Yes, now.
woman, like, why would somebody not find me attractive
Thank
and want
you.
to be with me for the rest of their life?
So why would you do a 32
would you want to have
So my
children?
thing is, I don't want to have any more children. I have 3 beautiful children that I'm super happy and satisfied with. So again, honesty and openness. Oh boy, I don't want children. Do you want children?
No,
Because
he's
if you
fine.
do,
He will say no.
So my nephew just got
We're
married.
talking about the mother.
Excuse me, my nephew just got married. He's like my son.
Yes.
If he has a beautiful
Young
20-something-year-old, beautiful girl,
yes.
I'm very happy, and I feel like his mother-in-law. If Made had come with my age mates,
Beautiful like you.
Beautiful like
I
you.
don't care if she's even more
Beautiful,
beautiful than me.
alive, spunky.
I don't care if she's even more beautiful than me. And say, this is my wife.
What if she's a billionaire?
I will become a Christian.
What if she's a billionaire?
I'll cast and bind.
What if she's a billionaire?
I would have been casting and binding now.
Even as a traditional
You would have gone to him. I will, mad. This is not going to happen. Let me stop.
What if she has a lot of money?
If she's a billionaire, and so therefore what?
So you're consistent. I love it.
And so therefore what? So it is my own grandson, my own son that you want. No.
He's an adult.
I'm sorry. I apologize if I've offended anybody. I'm sorry.
He's an adult. Let's take this seriously. He's an adult.
He's an adult.
And he has said that I don't want to have children. I'm willing to adopt. And I'm fine with adoption. He's happy. And in life, it's all about happiness and joy. You can't define happiness for anybody.
That kaya mata you're talking about, I will know it exists on that day.
But what? These are realities.
His father has spent all his money, has educated him, has done everything. Then you will now come with my age mates, your father's age mates.
Okay, let's do 50.
Excuse me.
No,
Let
me add
him
something.
experience it and learn by himself.
Exactly.
And you can experience it out of marriage, out of wedlock. You don't have to marry to experience. In fact, I will encourage
And I agree with
it.
you a lot on that.
Yeah.
For a lot of
Let me understand that. So you would rather him marry his age mates and then cheat with the
I said
No, that's reality.
with his age mate, my age mate.
Yes.
That this is my girlfriend. No
not
problem.
marriage.
Okay.
The day we bring that my age mate, that this is my wife.
Okay, let's calm down. Okay, let's imagine it's not your age. Let's imagine it's 52.
I will cast and bind.
Wait, would you cast and bind her? She's 52.
52-year-old.
She's 52. Would you cast and bind her?
Will you cast and bind like a kitten?
What are you casting and binding? Can you give him children?
We would have talked about that and he's okay with it.
Eh?
His mouth is shaking.
Because I will just be.
When you don't cry. Money is already married. It's not
Calm down.
I'm just like.
My kids are shaking.
I don't even care. It's not even about children. It's not even about
I'm the
children.
example and I'm sitting here.
You want to marry the person and me, I will call you auntie.
Remember, I'm the example and I'm
Okay,
sitting here.
let Mariam come in.
Can I give a scenario?
1 second, please.
Scenario.
Let me give you
Wait,
one.
YK, huh?
Now, this has nothing to do with Made, a random
One
boy
second.
who has just been a problem for his family, right? And this is real, actually. Problematic boy. Finally, he now gets his act together, and you are wondering why.
not in my
And he
family.
shows up with a much older woman. And that person has turned him around. And you're
Testimony time.
grateful that he's turned around, but this is the reason. And he feels he loves her so much, he wants to be in a marriage.
I love
Exactly.
it. I love it.
That is it. Why
Now,
can't-
how do you
So
respond?
it's not about
I don't want to
children
children
only,
only, but the
money.
truth is that
It's not like I want this one.
Okay, YK. So
Madi doesn't have problem.
I love the example.
It's not random.
Mariam,
Scenario.
Because I love that example because a lot of things are happening. A lot of young boys are actually, they've derailed from their path.
Values
Maybe the
and all of
52-year-old,
that.
the 42-year-old woman and say, you know what, I can help you get a career, get your life together, and they're fine. So should we
okay.
begin to
It's
judge
growth.
I will
adults
be
for
fine.
their decisions that to make to marry
That is
somebody
a bit
older than them?
You'll be fine.
Can I throw in a
not my
whole
dad.
other angle?
Yes.
A lot of these young people that we're talking about, these 20s and 30s, are those children that I've said are the results of horrible, distorted marriages. Such that they're even like, we don't even want to marry.
So
Forget bringing children into this world. We're not even interested. Keep your marriage, keep your institution. We're not even interested. I've met this beautiful 52-year-old woman. And I just want to live a good life with her. Then what?
My peace. I found my peace.
I found my peace. And you know, I know they're very
Same
particular
name.
about that.
My peace of
My
mind.
mental health, my emotional health is good here. With this
As long
woman,
as it's
I'm
not
at home.
YK's
I will
cousin,
just be saying,
nephew.
Auntie, thank you. It's okay. 5 piece. I will be calling you. I hope you don't mind if I call your girlfriend Auntie. Auntie, thank you.
But is there like an age limit? Is 3 years
We're
older
not
okay
using
for
him
him? 5
again.
years older. What's the age that you would
There's no
accept?
age limit. I only said my mates.
Yeah, I'm
Or a
just
bit younger
wondering.
than me. I don't care if you're
30
35
something.
and your girlfriend is 40, no problem.
Okay.
You are 25, your girlfriend is 30, no problem. My point is,
When
10
you're old
years,
enough to
20
give
years
birth to you.
no, 30 years, 25 years. Come now.
Pastor Ito's wife was 20 years or 20-something years old. Like, yeah,
So it's accepted. So you see this world.
When
Maybe they marry
your own husband too is about 11 years. I mean,
he's 10 years, can be coming down. Becoming down.
We are proudly 20 years.
women.
But you're 20 years,
We're
right?
proudly 20 years.
You don't
From the
understand what
man
I'm
to
saying.
the woman.
You don't understand
Accepted.
what I'm saying.
Woman
I
to the
get
man,
it. We get
not
it.
accepted.
Wait, you're showing yourself with somebody.
Why nobody has asked me. I
I'm
will
going to make
find
sure-
it very difficult to accept for my son. Nobody has asked me. I understand you very well. Oh, yes.
All you can take this show.
Hey.
You're coming down. Thank you very much. I mean, it was a pleasure having you.
Thank
It
you
was.
so much for
Thank you for
having
coming.
Please
We
come
loved
back
your
again.
energy.
I would love to come back over
See
and
you
over
tomorrow.
again.
Bye for now.
Thank you so much.